Hey everyone, it's me, I'm back. I am going to read you Voice from the Darkness, Part 1. This is a 3-part series. I also have this up, the whole full, 2,000 words, on the website artissurvival.com. It's a non-profit organization that my friend Craig Bideman made. Him and his partner Katie, and it's really cool, and they make art for people who share their stories anonymously or with their name about different topics each month regarding mental health and trauma. So that's cool. You should check it out. I will try to put a link and remember to put a link. So yeah, and then probably maybe in the middle of me doing these videos, instead of at the end when I finish it, I will also read to you guys my story about mental health, because I did a mental health post in May, and then I did this post which is about suicide, self-harm, in the fall, in September. So it took me a while too. It took me 7 tries to get it actually the way that I liked it. So that's that. And then there's 2 articles in this paper, which is from about October 4th and October 16th. So that's fun. Yeah. Both of these 2 articles in here have pictures, and the other one does too, that I just read, the Staying Alive Through a Crisis. So I will have those pictures as the thumbnail, and I will feature them in the beginning of the video just as a, if you wanted to actually see what the picture looked like further than this thumbnail, I will do that. Plus, they're going to have trigger warnings and stuff on it anyway. This also introduces the 800 words, so this should be a shorter video after the whole part of me talking, anyway. So, okay. Voice from the Darkness, article number 4, part 1, by Raquel Lyons. Staff writer. I'm gonna do that every time. It's in bold too, so it's good. Okay. Trigger warnings, suicide and self-harm. I tried to kill myself. Wait for it. I tried to kill myself. There, that's more accurate. I was listening to Photograph by Ed Sheeran when I wrote my suicide note titled, a suicide note poem titled May Our Souls Rest Tonight back in May 2015. I've attempted suicide twice, which is no longer very accurate. I've actually done it a 3rd time. But I've attempted suicide twice, and yet I don't consider myself a suicide attempt survivor. I would have to have made a serious attempt on my life in order to be considered that. I'm talking multiple broken bones and permanent side effects kind of suicide attempt survivor stuff. When I look up close to things, my eyes move back and forth rapidly. Even though that's because of a suicide attempt, I guess it still doesn't count. Not in my brain. Let me formally introduce myself to you. Hi, hello, welcome. Over in the far right corner is OCD. Behind them is secondary depression, and self-harm, obsessions, and suicidal thoughts line all the bloody walls in this place. Now that's an introduction. I don't want this piece to be about the recovery side of things. I've already written about that before and write daily about it. No, instead I just want this to be a talkative piece, where I share with you my darkest days where suicidal ideation ran rampant and I was convinced I was going to die by suicide. I just want that story to be told, because it hasn't been, not yet. And it's time I stepped away from the shadows and found my voice, and used it. So, let's begin, shall we? As someone dealing with obsessive-compulsive disorder, according to the textbook, I never should have acted on my self-harm and suicide obsessions. Yet, even when I was just dealing with the OCD, I was acting on the obsessions. I thought maybe if I did what the OCD said, it would go away. So I sat on a ledge. So I jabbed myself with car keys. So I scratched myself. So I took 1 pill of an old prescribed painkiller. But still the OCD came back. In fact, it came back 10 times worse after I had acted on the thoughts. I wasn't trying to hurt myself, except when I was. I was just trying to find freedom. Everything in my world had turned upside down. I didn't know what was right, or what was wrong anymore, and the doubt was getting on my nerves. I was tired of the emotional whirlwind, spiraling from anxiety to depression to anger to apathy. I just wanted it all to end, to pause for even the simplest of moments. But I didn't have the guts to kill myself. And let me be clear here, suicide doesn't take guts. Suicide isn't a brave or cowardly act. Suicide just is. That's why I've used the quotation marks here, because even with quotes, those accusations are just bullshit. And it's about time someone called them out for what they are and not prance around them, pretending like it's anything other than a turd on a summer's day. Secondary depression set in during the time my therapist Steve was away during winter break. On the night before New Year's Eve, I felt depression speak up from the shadows. It told me that suicide was my only way out of the mayhem that was OCD. It told me that there was nothing I could do to make my emotional pain stop. I had tried everything possible, and every positive coping strategy for 4 hours that evening, just so I could get some blissful, sweet sleep. Yet the sleep never came. No matter what I did, nothing was working. Nothing would ever work. There was nothing I could do to make the pain stop, and all I wanted was the pain to stop, right? For 6 days, I planned my suicide. That was all I thought about. Suicide, suicide, suicide. Details from what I'd wear to where I would do it, to who I could tell to stop myself, to not believing at all that I would even follow through with it. I dreamt of suicide as my release, my freedom. It was my fantasy, releasing me from the hell that I was stuck in. How sweet, no, how beautiful suicide would be to me. I yearned for it even as I read articles upon articles about suicide prevention, trying to convey their warning signs into my daily life. I wanted my freedom, and I wanted it desperately. To be continued. So, that's that. And now I'm on to the next article. I'm going to try to, sit up and be looking more. I will try my best. Okay. Thank you for watching. I hope that leaves you on a little bit of cliffhanger, what happens next, and it is continued, so check out, wait for Voice from the Darkness Part 2. Dun dun dun. Obviously I'm still alive, so. But, yeah.